Hi, my name is Surya Banerjee, and I'm the founder of Growth Squad. Now, there are two key ingredients for the success of startup growth. One is hiring experts, which cost money and time, and two, for the sales and marketing team to work together as one team with one goal. Now, at Growth Squad, our mission is to help startups with the full funnel activity. What that means is generating leads through marketing and also closing those leads by implementing proper sales processes. And we do that by bringing together all the marketing and sales experts under one roof. Our leadership team has an expertise of more than 70 years in total. As an attempt to help the startup community, we will be running some short fireside chats. And the topic today is performance marketing. And to talk about that, we have Nidhi Anand Batra today with us. Hi Nidhi, thank you so much for joining.
Hi Sojo, thank you so much for having me here today.
Great. So maybe let's start off with a quick introduction about yourself and what you do.
So I'm Nidhi Anand Batra. I'm one of the co-founders of Growth Squad. I've been in the marketing field for the last 14 years now, marketing and sales, but my love remains marketing. I'm also the founder of a marketing agency back home in Mumbai, India, which is purely about all integrated marketing services under one roof. So whether that's your content needs, or that is your branding purposes, your packaging, or your performance marketing, we have designated and skilled people handling all of these departments. So maybe that's what I bring to the table here.
Great. And we've launched Growth Squad in the UK and Dubai, and exciting times ahead to help the startup community. We are talking about performance marketing today. So let's start with a basic question. What is performance marketing?
Oh, wow. That's a tough one actually, Sojo, because it's a very it's a huge broad perspective to really sum it up. But if I had to say it in a simplistic way, performance marketing is essentially the digital ad. It's that ad that you see when you're scrolling Instagram, when you're scrolling Google, when you're scrolling Facebook, or for that matter, a lot of other internet portals. All those ads that lure you into buying that product or lure you into visiting that next restaurant is performance marketing. So yeah, it's a digital verse, and in the digital multiverse, the ads that are run and the targeting that is done is simply performance marketing.
Great. So we work with the B2C and B2C clients as well. And there's one question that keeps coming up is performance marketing suited more for B2B, B2C, or also B2B?
So yeah, I've come to love performance marketing. And to be honest with you, I am evolving as we go. There's something new to learn with performance marketing every day. And that's what is challenging and interesting about this vertical of marketing. Because there is no set formula or no set algorithm of how this runs. There was a time till long back when I thought performance marketing is going to work only for B2C. And then in the last couple of months, maybe about 6 to 8 months now, I started trying this concept onto B2B. And trust me, I have been amazed with the result. Let me give you a case study here. There is one particular client that we cater to for an all-integrated marketing service. He's based out of Surat, which is a lovely little city in Gujarat, and a very, very enterprising city, if I may say. They have a lot of businesses that churn out from this city. So one of the brands that we consult here is a plant. It's a plant that makes juices. They have a couple of products under one roof, from yogurt-based drinks, juices, and they are coming up with protein waters. Now, since they have a plant, they've been multiplying their SKUs because they have a plant. But what stands still and what remains as a fact is when you have a B2C product with a small ticket like a juice that is going to go into every shop, the volume or the money that goes into marketing a brand like that is humongous. You
Yeah,
are either funded, you're burning a lot of money on a regular basis. Not everyone can do that.
agreed.
This particular brand that I am talking about is cash strapped, it is bootstrapped, and they are trying to take it off. Now, you tell me, what do you think would be the best way without making them put a huge dent in their pocket or borrowing from the market? What do you think would be the best way to utilize a plant?
Yeah, white label the product.
Yes. Now came the challenge of how do we reach out to people for white labeling? I did not really have a network to find this, but what helped was performance marketing. So the performance marketing team used a lot of the visual content that we shot at the plant. We made ads out of it and we started running ads. And quote me, right now we are on about a 250 to 300% rise in business for Chubby Nutricos, which is a brand in question, because we went very aggressive with running campaigns across the north node of India, the west, the south, and the east. And we've been bombarded with references, contacts, leads from all these markets, people bringing in their products to white label into the factory. So never say never when it comes to performance marketing.
So from what I am understanding here right now is there's a whole aspect of social media management and branding that has to be done. That's very critical for your business. But if you're looking at the bottom line, if you want to see the actual ROI, performance marketing can be a great tool if you get it right.
It is the only tool to get it right. Performance marketing is the key for ROI. Whenever we talk social media, if you talk content, you talk SEO, you talk branding, they are all top of the funnel activities. Of course, SEO after a time can lead to an ROI, yes, but it takes a lot of time. But if you are a startup who needs results immediately, when I say immediately, at least a Q1 to a Q2, but when you need results at that pace, performance marketing is your only go-to bet when it comes to digital marketing.
Okay, that's interesting. So now we understand the basics of performance marketing and where it can be used. Now, if I'm a startup, where do I start? How do I identify the channels? And I know it's a very broad question, but a lot of our clients have asked us this question of where do I start? How do I identify whether I go one channel or whether I go multiple channels? How do I do that?
So, I think that depends a lot on the nature of the business. If you are a volume-driven, small ticket, small price product, then you have to go all out in every possible channel. But if you are somebody who's dealing with the luxury sector, that's when you need to start carving your niche because you don't need to be everywhere. I'm still answering it very broadly, I'll be honest. It really differs. I could be dealing with a luxury kids product, and I'm going to purely take it down luxury aggregators. I would take it down to Amazon. I would take it down to Google, where moms are going to come looking for products. I'm going to take it to Facebook, targeting the mothers. But if I'm talking about a juice, like I just mentioned earlier, I think there are no holds barred. I can go into every possible targeting. I can reach out to Amazon. I can reach out to Flipkart. I can be on Google. I can be in every possible internet portal that is going to reach out to every audience, because here's a product that is for the millennials, it's for the seniors, it is for the youngsters. So I think it depends. I'm answering very broadly again, but it really depends on the nature of the business.
So that the point that you are also making through this is you have to identify where your market is, how to get to them, and where do you find them. So that's you're finding your ICP or your niche of the market.
I'll tell you what's the difference between a performance marketer and a content marketer. We identify the audience a lot better than the tech guys would. So that is why the amalgamation of the two, the fact that we do content marketing, We understand the consumer and then we create a campaign. Works a lot better than just involving a performance marketing agency, because what we bring to a table is completely understanding your product and then running an ad on it.
Got it. So you've touched upon content marketing because that was probably my next question. I know content is a big thing, but when you are working with your clients right now, are there any key trends that you are seeing and you are preparing your clients with? And even if that's content, that's fine. But is there any particular theme that you're seeing for 2023 and you're preparing your clients with that?
I always re-emphasize one thing, that the consumer is smart today. Gone are the days when you can hard sell products to a consumer. We need to be a lot more careful on how you want to get your consumer in. So today it's all about creating that experience. Experiential marketing, as I may call it, is the future of marketing. Of course, it has to be content driven. I will not take away the charm from what content marketing is, but content marketing can also be that ad of, hey, buy me. And then there can be an ad of, we give you good health and we are good for your future. I don't think a consumer is buying, hey, buy me anymore. I think the consumer wants to see why should he buy it or why should they buy it.
When you start off with a performance marketing with clients, what are the KPIs that you put in for your team, but also recommend your clients to put in when they start their performance marketing activities?
Very interesting question, a very important question actually, Surjo, because performance marketing can make you and break you, because there's a lot of spend that goes into giving agencies retainers, and a lot of spend goes into the digital spend that you're doing into creating that. A couple of strategies that a couple of KPIs that I definitely recommend need to be done is narrow in. You cannot give everything a month. You cannot give it 15 days. You cannot give it 6 months for it to start moving. And I re-emphasize moving. I'm not saying success. So to set the KPIs in motion, a couple of things. What your campaign is going to be is very important. What your ad needs to look like. You need to study the brand. You need to study the vision of the brand. You need to study where they are, what they've done, where they want to be before you make even that one single ad. So that's the first KPI to the company is talk to your client, understand them. Don't just go on to creating the tech part of things. It's very important for you to understand what they want from the campaign. The second very important aspect here is a close eye. You need to be on top of it till the campaigns start getting into the rolling. The initial struggle is always a higher struggle. You do not know you hit ground for at least a couple of campaigns. So it's very important to not lose heart, but at the same time, it's very important to know that it's going to evolve. You need to be open to feedback. When your client comes back and tells you all the leads were crap, it's okay. That can happen, that will happen. Take it in your stride and optimize your audience. That is a KPI that we need to follow. The third very important fact here, and a very financial fact, is the spends. What you spend into a campaign should be mutually agreed upon with your client before you start the campaign. He needs to know how much time it's going to take him for the results to show, and what kind of a ROAS, a revenue on ad spend, he should be expecting in how much time. ROAS do not come overnight. It's going to take at least Q1 to Q2 by the time they reach ground. But till then, attitude of patience is very important. All of these things have to be put into perspective before the campaign start. And last but not the least is your targeting. It's always a game of the digital spend and the targeting. Your digital spend might be right, but your targeting is not done right. It's not going to work. And if your targeting is great, but you don't have the money to spend, we should not try.
Yeah. I think that's that's very interesting because it naturally takes me to the next question. When we start doing commercial activities, um, for us personally, when we work with our clients, we are quite honest on the timeline and what good looks like, and not, a lot of clients don't, they expect an overnight change of results. Why am I not getting leads and stuff. My next question is, as a startup, when I work with an agency or I'm doing performance marketing on my own, what good really looks like for the first quarter and the second quarter, and what is that timeline, when I see that, okay, this is either working or this is not.
Surjo, before I answer this question, the one thing I want to specify is highlight is honesty. I think one of the reasons why a client is intimidated and giving all benefit of doubt to the client is because the fact is agencies turn around and sometimes tell clients you're going to get results very soon. That's not how Growth Squad is going to work. We both know it. We are not going to give unrealistic timelines to our clients. So, what good looks like is going to depend on the nature of the business, the brand story, and how much time it's going to take us to achieve it, which is all going to be specified at the start of things. I will not be able to answer with rigidity that this is how much time it takes for what good looks like. Because if a client or if a brand has been in business for 15 years, good might look like 2 months or 3 months because all I'm doing is smoothing things out, ironing things out, and hey, we are ready to go. But good might take a year if you are a startup. You're looking for investors, you're starting slow, maybe not starting performance marketing, just getting your social media hygiene for maybe 3 months, getting some content shot for the next 3 months, probably starting very small spends of performance marketing, maybe in Q3, then I would say a year. So, what matters with what looks good is the honesty of what we are going to tell them or what is going to look good.
Yeah, and you touched upon the ROAS. Now, I know it depends on clients to clients, but just for our audience, what is the red line? When should they be worried when they're not, not seeing a number? What is that number that you strive? And it, again, nothing to do with the timeline, but what is that number that you strive with your clients?
Revenue and ad spend is everything when it comes to performance marketing. Because, like we started this conversation, it's a ROI driven activity. It's a revenue on investment. And that is what defines ROAS. A very important aspect here is CAC, a customer acquisition cost, which is also defined by the ROAS. So that is how important this point is here. That is how important that term is. It cannot be neglected. It has to be given time, but it has to be kept a complete eye on. What is a good ROAS is generally between 4 to 5. How much time it generally takes to achieve it is the least 4 to 5 months. So on day one, you might be on a 0, you might be on a negative. By the time you're month 2, you should be hitting somewhere around 2.5. By the time you're 3, you should be around 3ish, a little plus minus. By the time you're 5, 6, you should be on a good 4, 5, where that performance marketing has been a successful plan, numbers are flowing in. Having said that, it does not stop there. Yes, the ROAS might fluctuate, and that's when you need to revamp your performance marketing plan, but it's a good number to be on.
Okay, got it. No, I think that's probably all for today. I hope people viewing this will have a better understanding of what performance marketing is, but also at the same time have a better understanding of what to expect from your agencies going forward as well. So ask the tough questions with your agencies and work with them. But thank you so much, Nidhi, for your time today. And I am sure the people viewing this will enjoy this talk.
Thank you, Sojo. Looking forward to our next chat, which is going to be about sales, because I know how many people want to know stuff there.
Yes, absolutely. So the next one is going to be on sales, and hopefully I can give a bit more insights into how to set up the sales processes, which work.
Great. All
Take
right.
care. Thank you.
Thank you.